The Brothers of Liberty, here to remind you what true freedom is. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Liberty with the older brother Kelton, always reminding you what true freedom is. Today, we're actually going to talk about a bill that was passed yesterday on September 23rd. This was the Israel Iron Dome bill. I don't know the exact what the bill was called, but they're going to give $1 billion to Israel to replenish their Iron Dome for attacks, missile and rocket attacks from Hamas to defend their borders. It had bipartisan support. 420 voted yes, and 9 voted no. The rest was abstaining. But the biggest news that happened was AOC crying about it. And mind you, she switched her vote from no to present. Um, but apparently she shed some crocodile tears about it being passed. I don't know why she is shedding crocodile tears, because it was to defend Israel. Now, I know the squad, as they've been come to known in Congress, has been pushing to defund the Israel Dome to no avail. In fact, the representative from Michigan, and I'm going to mispronounce her name, and I do apologize for that, Representative Talib, labeled Israel as an apartheid state. And once she did that, there was criticism from her Democratic colleague, Representative Tom Deutsch of Florida, who said that if there's no place on the map for a Jewish state, that's what you call anti-Semitism. So there was a little heated exchange on the floor before the vote. Now, the vote did, like I said, did pass. And even President Biden said he wants to work to replenish their Iron Dome, especially after May's incident with the rockets firing into Israel. Now, the biggest thing here is a lot of people will say, oh, Israel don't need it. Israel committed crimes against humanity, and etc. The squad members are definitely loud at saying that they committed crimes against humanity, but they have a right to defend themselves, as the United States have a right to defend ourselves against terrorism. They're not actively going out and bombing children and stuff. They target where the rocket launches come from. And unfortunately, Hamas will put rockets in media centers, hospitals, things like that, to make Israel look bad. There was back in 2012, Anderson Cooper tweeted that that Israel was launching missiles on the media center, and then he added that's the same media center where Hamas launched rockets from. And someone said, oh, he needs to report the whole news. Well, he did. He said that earlier in the day, Hamas did launch rockets from there. So, as with always, if someone launches a rocket from a certain place, you're going to try to eliminate that place. It doesn't matter what country you're from. And yes, there always are mistakes, as pointed out a few weeks ago when an American drone killed several civilians in Afghanistan thinking it was a terrorist. So yes, mistakes can be made. Unfortunately, that happens in war. A lot of people think of war as Call of Duty, and it is not. It is a lot more tragic. But throughout the history, they always want to say the Palestinians were there first. Were they really? Because the name Palestine did not come until the British had control of it, and they called the land Palestine. And even if you derive back from, some people say the word Palestine comes from Philistine, which I haven't done any research to confirm or deny that, but even if they did, they've been at war with the Kingdom of Israel and Judah long time ago. So yes, it goes back in those days. Now the Kingdom of Israel and Judah are both the Jewish states. They just broke up after King Solomon passed away. But they have a rich history long into BC times, and several countries since then has conquered them until the Jewish people came back. Now, a lot of people said, oh, it shouldn't have been a Jewish state, it should have been an Arab state. And there was actually provisions made, but the Arabs kept refusing until now we got in this conflict we have today. If you actually research history, research all the treaties and everything else, you will see evidence to what I've said. A lot of people don't want to do research, because if they do the research, then they have to admit where they're wrong and where they're right, and I love history. Now, as far as the squad members on Israel violating human rights, have you heard any one of them since the Taliban took over talking about the women rights in Afghanistan being trampled on? I mean, I've researched it, couldn't find not even one statement from any four of them. So tell me, are they really concerned about human rights? Or are they only concerned that it's a Jewish state? I mean, that's what some people figure. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and remember, this is the older brother Liberty reminding you what true freedom is.